friend, mom, wife, all the lists, taxi driver, everything.
Yeah.
Amazing. And how I know you is, well, you helped my son several years ago, and godsend for our family. I mean, really, it changed his life, and he's doing so good, by the way.
Oh,
He's graduating college in May. We're flying up to New Hampshire. He has a
awesome.
girlfriend for over a year now, and they are just doing amazing. So
That's
happy.
wonderful. I figured when I have not heard from him that my hope is things are good.
Right, right.
That makes me
So, with that said, I remember discussions with you years ago about your journey and where you're going. And, we had you on the podcast several years ago talking about your story and your loss of an 18-month-old baby and your journey through that and healing and all of it. I'm getting chills just talking about it. It's such a great story
happy.
and so inspiring. And you've helped a lot of women, and you've been through divorce yourself.
Yes.
And
Yep.
that's a whole nother story. But
Oh, yeah.
tell me about what you've created. What's going on?
Yeah. So just I have a passion for helping moms. I have a passion for helping women who want to move in a different direction in their lives and feel stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that so often, not that it doesn't happen in multiple areas of life, right? But um, I connect so deeply with single moms who are really struggling to find their way forward, especially when having left an unhealthy marriage, um, high conflict divorce, narcissism in the picture, like just a lot of complexities. I know I had to work really hard to find my way forward. And I wish I had had a little more direction back then. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I could have used a support system and a camaraderie, a people around me that understood what I was going through. And really what I got was a great support system, but not an understanding
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
how hard and difficult it really deeply is.
Yeah. And there's so many people out there, and then when you go through something like this,
Mhm,
and then you're like, what am I supposed to do?
mhm,
And just finding a therapist, just, in my own journey, trying to find it for my son and finding the right one. And it's a lot of money and
mhm,
then a journey. And it's like, no, I just need help right now. I don't want to work for 2 and 3 months of trying. And then you just want to give up. I mean, I have friends that I've referred to you because I'm just, if anything, just go once and just feel the support that she can give you. It's just so perfect what you're doing right now. And so with this module, you've
mhm.
created this, which I think is so beautiful in itself because me as a busy mom and a wife, if I'm sitting down trying to do something, and maybe out of desperation, it would
Mhm.
be a lot easier for me to sit down at my computer at night when the kids are asleep trying to
Right.
help me navigate instead of I got to make an appointment and do this, which is all good and you should. But tell me about that. Tell me about the module. And
Yeah, about how the program is kind of designed, and I'm excited about it. So it's a combination, right? It's an online. There's 8 chapters, many, many, many lessons that cover lots of topics for women to do on their own, and
hmm
then there's a weekly live community. I call it the Champion Community, where we gather together and we addressed problems, we addressed struggles, we talk about successes, um, and just really create a community of connection and understanding. That's my goal.
okay,
And
so
in
wait
addition to
just a sec.
that, mhm,
So
yeah.
you start the module
Mhm,
in this program and then you have a date that you set up every week with the
every week,
women and they
twice
can just
a week.
tune in. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a live, Zoom meeting where we're all connecting. Um, and then we have a private Facebook community where we can interact and ask questions, connect, share burdens on a daily basis.
hmm
And then I love that I've still included, I'm going to have 3 individual sessions with each client. So I still get that personal connection. I
Oh,
want to
good.
understand, I want to get to know, I want to know your story, I want to know your struggles, and I want to make sure that what we're doing on this journey is applying to what you need. So
Mhm.
it's a session with me beginning, kind of middle and end of program. So in general, it's a 12-week program that somebody is agreeing
Okay.
to be a part of.
Okay.
I've actually extended it to 14 weeks just so we all have extra time and leniency in there.
Okay.
Need a
So
little
is
more
this like a certain start date or can someone just start any day?
any day. I'm just going to do a rolling group. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to keep the numbers so that it still feels intimate enough. Uh,
Mhm.
and then once if I exceed that number, I'll just add on another day that we meet live. So I just really want everybody to feel connected.
Well, that sounds awesome. I mean, not just the program itself, but think about how you're connecting all these women. I mean, you're gonna probably create some BFFs in this group,
I
you
hope
know, and
so. It would be so fun for this.
absolutely.
I can think and dream of all kinds of places this could go. So
Oh, yeah.
just
Yeah,
from the connection, point. So
definitely. So
yeah.
when you sent me the link the other day and I clicked it open, the first thing that I saw was how to co-parent
Mhm.
with a narcissistic partner. Is that what it said? Something like
Yeah, with a narcissistic ex.
I thought, you know what? I mean, I've been married for 28 years. I'm not getting divorced and I
Oh,
love him
and a
beyond
darling
and
husband.
it's great. It's great. But I have a lot of friends that have gone through stuff like this.
Mhm.
Like I said earlier and referred them. Even friends that have are remarried right now
Mhm.
and they're still trying to co-parent
Yeah.
with that ex-partner, you
Yeah.
know? And I just think at any time, this is something that you could definitely use, you know?
Yes. I think that when we're caught in a high conflict, and I kind of use high conflict divorce and high conflict personality and narcissism a little interchangeably. And the reason I do that is because I do not assume that there is an actual diagnosis of every woman ex-husband who's going to be joining me, right?
Yeah,
I feel very presumptive, and I am cautious never to overuse the word narcissism.
yeah,
I'm really careful about that because I feel like it dilutes the impact of what it really is if I'm
mhm,
just overusing it. So
right.
you'll hear me say it in different ways, but I totally forgot your question now.
Can
Um,
you define narcissism for me? Just because I know what it is, but maybe
mhm,
there are those they've heard it and maybe they think, "Oh, isn't that the guy that's staring at himself and flexing at the gym all the time?" A little bit.
a
I
little
think
bit.
there's a little bit
Well,
more to that though, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think in general, we need to think of narcissism as um, a fluid scale, right? We all have
Mhm,
narcissistic traits, and that's healthy. We should have some narcissistic traits. We do need to be aware of our needs, our wants, our desires, right? Um, but when you get to the unhealthy, toxic level of narcissism, you're talking about somebody who's unable to empathize or understand their partner, their children's, their colleagues' experience, what they're struggling with. They don't understand their impact on them. Depending on the kind of narcissism you're talking about, somebody could be more of what we think of like the Napoleon overt narcissist and
mhm,
harder to see, harder to grasp what is going on.
mhm,
So it's not always the person who's boasting about themselves publicly and their successes and their great talents, although that's certainly a part of it.
mhm,
It's um, it's a need for excessive admiration, a sense of entitlement, a feeling of being superior to others.
mhm,
I mean, the result is this person's needs and experience matters, and everybody else's is denied.
mhm.
That's kind of the end result of it.
Kind of a funny story,
Yeah.
real quick. A person a long time ago went to therapy, therapist told them, here's a book on narcissism. I want you to read it because there's someone that I believe in your small circle that is.
Mhm.
So they went home and they started to read it and they texted the therapist back and they were like, did you give me this book because I am? And the therapist said, just the fact that you asked me that, you're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty eye-opening. I mean, that small little comment, that
Mm,
little question kind of cleared things up a little bit. I mean, you need to be self-reflective and check your own self, right? But if you're never checking it,
mhm.
is it kind of the one that's always right no matter what? I mean,
Yes, yes. I mean,
okay.
definitely their experience is what's real, and everybody else's experience is unimportant or not valid, denied. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
So you get very lost within a narcissist world. And again, I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying everybody's a narcissist, but I'm using that as a spectrum,
Right,
right?
right,
But you
right.
do, you lose your sense of self because there's so much gaslighting, there's so much projection, that you lose track of who you are within this relationship and who you are with how you interact with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a denial of self in the end.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So if someone hears this and they're like, that sounds like me, maybe something I want to do, then, and they're thinking, 12, 13, 14 weeks. I wonder how time consuming this could be with the kids and I'm in divorce and this and that. So if they sit down to this program, like
Mhm.
what does the program look like? The steps? Can you just go to it when it's available, it's easy
When you
for
have
you?
time? Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yes, all the lesson videos, I wouldn't say all, the majority are very, very short. So it's something where you could listen to it on a car ride, you could listen to it on a break at work,
Okay.
you go on a walk and listen to it. So I wanted the material, the learning time to be in small, broken up parts that busy moms have time for,
Oh,
right?
good. That's
Um,
great.
and I think it can be as in depth as you want it to be. If you want to
Mhm.
put a lot of heart and soul into it, you can. If it's a chapter or a section that you're like, I don't think I need to give this quite as much, I think you can do that too. You can, there's a way to run through the lessons and the worksheets and maybe not give it as much time. So I think there's some flexibility.
Mhm.
Um, I would encourage everyone to allow attending at least one of the live meetings a week. So that's an hour. I would say if you gave another 3 to 4 hours a week total, you're doing a really great in-depth job. I mean, I don't think
Okay.
you would have to do more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
kinda
mean, that's
gives a
and
good
that's broken
picture.
up over time, right?
Right.
And there's no pace that you have to keep up. If you only get through part of it and we're at 14 weeks, well, then let's look at what you need from there. So
Mhm.
it's really self-paced, and that when you have more time, you can give it, and when you don't, you don't.
Yeah. Well, I hate asking this part, but because so many of my friends that I'm like, "You gotta go see Erin." If they tell me or I'm looking or they ask, gotta go see, Erin, and the second question they ask, "How much?"
Mhm.
So, is this something that if someone I mean, I have no idea how much this is. Is there a scholarship program for someone? Is there like, how does that work
Yeah.
exactly? Like, once you're done with the 13, 14 weeks, then what?
Well, I think that my hope is that when we get to the end of the 14 weeks, um, if you're still in a place where there's a lot of conflict, you're having a lot of turmoil, and you will still want that support, I would like to transition that to the next tier of support where it's not about the learning modules, it's just about the connection and the community
Yeah.
and having
Yeah.
a group for those who have already gone through the program, right? So it's kind
Right.
of like a graduation group in my thoughts.
Master class. So
Yeah.
I'm involved in some groups within my industry and we meet just like what you said, and when we need to just vent, right?
Mhm.
Or ask a question, it's such a great place to go because then you've met and you've connected with these people that
Yeah.
you can get the answers and they get you. And guess what? They want to talk about it,
Right.
right? It's hard from my experience with my friends and what they tell me, they are hurting bad.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because
It's
I would,
consuming. It is
just like
consuming.
what I went through with my son, of course. And of course, I wanna talk to people who are going through it because I need help, you
Mhm.
know? And
Yeah.
so in these groups that I'm in, we've evolved that way, and now it's called a master class, and then you have friends forever, you
Yeah.
know? So there'll be times that'll come up, this parenting thing. OMG. Can you tell me this, Erin?
Yeah.
It's hard.
It
It's
is
so
hard stuff.
hard.
It is hard stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And then so whatever comes up next time, like,
Right.
"Oh my god, Ellen didn't answer that question on the module." You know?
Right.
At least you got friends or you to go back.
I just really want it to be so integrated. That's
Mhm.
that's my goal. Is not and then listen, I love my therapy clients and I love to come and have a really powerful session and know that they're going to take that home and apply it. But this is something that you can integrate as much as you want into every
Mhm.
day of your life. It's not just once a week when you see me in the office. It's something where
Right.
you have access to me and others
Right.
regularly.
I'm so excited you're doing this because I
Oh,
remember sitting in that room right there.
uh-huh.
You
Yeah,
rearranged it.
a little
The
bit.
couch is over there. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it. Looks
thank
good.
you.
But I
Thanks.
remember it was like we were just hanging out as friends. I'd go up there and we just talk sometimes, and you're just like, "I just know I'm birthing something. I need to get all these women together. I just don't know how." And I've watched this thing develop, and I am just over the moon for you because this is finally
Yeah,
like instead of just sitting with one person each session, which is great, and you're seeing all these women and you're like, gosh, if I could just get them together and talk and help each other, it would
yeah,
be such a great support system. Which also reminds me, some of the conversations that we had then, which I'm real curious about, is that your heart was like meditations and yoga and other things. Like, are there things like that in this module, or maybe there'll be something that grows from it?
yes. Well, so yes, there. Let me just tell you kind of some of the topics we cover because it's really very inclusive. I mean, I've tried to be very thoughtful about what is going to help somebody at this stage, what insight, what introspection, what learning is going to help them move forward, right? That's my whole
Mhm.
goal. It's how do we help you move forward and not feel so stuck in the conflict and the chaos?
Mhm.
So we go through, I kind of do a past, present, future approach. That's my therapy approach also. But right, that's my approach in life. We look at what's happened in the past, digest it, understand it, heal from it, what's in the present that's in our life, and then where do we want it to be? So
Mhm.
it'll be things like reflecting on your marriage, your part, your role in the marriage. What did you feel good about? What did you struggle with? Who were you when you came into the marriage? Who are you as you're leaving the marriage? A healing of understanding grief and divorce and how it affects you and your children. Kind of the layered, understanding the nuances and the layers to what's going on and not just being experientially stuck in it. I
Mhm.
talk with somebody and it's not that they're a fit for this, then I'm absolutely going to talk with them about what would be a fit for
Okay,
them.
good. I was wondering about that. So, if they reach out to you, do you do like a free 15-minute consultation or something like that? That
Yeah,
just
well,
kind
I
of
after
sees.
they yeah, yeah. So once they've I have kind of a brief video that talks about the program and what they'll learn. And then from there they can book a 45-minute call with me.
For free?
Mhm. Yeah,
Dang, girl. I'll be
yeah.
calling you every week for 45 minutes. But, this isn't just for people that are local. I mean, people can
Oh,
dial in, they can do the module, they can also meet with you on Zoom, right? For
mm,
a meeting.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, this is
Yeah.
not um really the reason I still will have my therapy practice, and I specialize in EMDR, and I do intensives, and that's my actual in-office therapy clients.
Mhm.
But for everyone else, this is a present forward future in more of a coaching approach, I would call
Yeah.
it. It's a coaching program because I'm not going to do a deep dive into what did you experience at 5 years old that led you to this person.
Right. Yeah.
I would like you to do. I mean, there's some opportunity for you to do a little reflection,
Mhm.
but that's not my goal in guiding you. My goal is taking you from where you are and where you want to be.
Yeah. So do they like journal and stuff? Is there like questions and they listen and question, you kind of have your time and
Yeah,
that kind of
I
thing?
have assessment tools in there. I have journaling questions. I have meditations. I call it music therapy. It's really just my fun playlist that talk about, I don't know, female power and
Don't even start talking to me about sound therapy. That's a real deal. I mean, think about it. We're vibration, music's vibration. There's a reason why it makes you feel good or happy or mad or whatever.
right, right.
It's so
I had
perfect.
a lot of fun creating these
I
playlists. It's
bet.
like
I want a copy of
hate
that.
my ex playlist, and then I
Yeah.
have the want to find love again playlist, and
Is it that
a
one
playlist
with
for mamas,
Carrie Underwood like smashing out the car?
right?
Right?
Yeah, so we have all that. Then I have lots of workbook
Uh-huh.
pages, the video lesson modules. It's really just, it's, I can't even show you. I mean, it's packed. It's a thick um, load of material to go through. There's a lot there.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad you got that thing done.
Man, I am too. It wasn't the actual program itself that
Uh-huh.
honestly, it was the videos. I had to learn to,
Oh
to be
man.
okay with being on video.
Girl,
That was
it's
really hard for me.
hard.
I
It
challenged
is.
myself. Yeah.
I challenge everyone to go through that, to listen to their voice for
Mhm.
real. Like really, not just on an answering call,
Mhm.
like for a long time. Know
Yeah.
yourself. Get to know yourself. It will
Yeah.
help you in your life beyond, and you'll love yourself more, even all your dumb, quirky things that you do. It will.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah. I'm
thank
I'm
you so
really thrilled
much.
about it. And I feel like I've gotten to support my children in how to handle this relationship in their life. And I've seen all the work that they've done. And I reflect back on, okay, what did I do that was helpful? And what did I do that was not helpful for them?
Yeah.
And I really just I want to help others not have to figure all that out on their own.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for doing that. It's such a
You're welcome.
great help for people.